Yeah, it's just super low volume right now. Obviously, you can kind of see in the candles, there's like gaps and stuff, and you know, volume imbalances, all that good stuff. Stuff like this is even being tested from bullish gap, and then it's just equal lows right here, from here to here. So it's best to just kind of leave this alone. You can get involved, sure, but it's just, it's no point for me. Range is still kind of small. I mean, we're looking, this is like 463 down to 470 to 380. Compared to what we've been dealing with, this is a smaller range for sure. New candle right here in the 5. 15 still looks a little wonky, right? Not really the best. No real bottom wick. So if this thing starts to flip, then it's like, this is, again, not really where I would want to be getting in. It could hold, sure, we have 9 minutes. It could flip back, but typically you want to see it go down, then up, not up, then down. Because to me, this looks like it just swept out this high, and that's creating some structure here that could potentially just inverse really easy. These are gaps you don't really want to buy, because when it sweeps a high like this, it's likely to kind of reverse. So this right here, it could potentially just cut through really quick. So like I would never really want to put my order here and just like let it just immediately stop me, like in the next candle. And if this thing does happen to work, it's better just to wait for it to stab in and then put your order when it breaks back out, you know? That's how I would look at it personally. Oh, okay. NQ did not sweep, but just micro did. Gotcha. Still, the 15 doesn't look really that great. It's not my favorite when you see a top tail like that. I think today will be a day of patience. You know, could you find a setup right now? Maybe, but there's probably gonna be clearer setups right at the open, or even like 30 minutes into the open. There's no point in rushing anything right now. It's not about just seeing the setup. It's about also knowing what setups to avoid. There's not enough going for this trade right here for it to even be worth my time. I don't think. Even just compared to the examples from last night, like this is not. It's not ideal. Like, is this 1 minute really gonna reverse a lot of this downtrend, or can we simply just wait for more, structure to develop, and then you get one of those where you can get in? I think that's a safer bet because this thing could easily just roll, 440, 420. It's not the biggest, but it's usually just not worth it. Even if this puts in another higher low, then maybe it'll be a little bit better. But right now, I'm not interested. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. So that's what we're seeing right now happen. Where because of this 15 and the 5, and whether or not NQ swept it, micro did. I was just looking at this as something that would potentially roll over and stop me, right? So that's why I didn't want to get involved. But we have 5 minutes till the open. We'll look at some other levels, see what we got. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything really, really that great. It'd be better just for this to kind of make another leg higher, and then we can start to look inside of here for some sort of formation to target something in here. But I don't need to be the first person in the trade. I don't need the low of day. I don't need anything down here. I can easily just wait for some more data, something to form, and then I can find a risk entry from there. So yeah, this trade right here would not have worked for me. I would have entered here. I would have got stopped here, and then it's like, what's the point? So that's why I'm able to like anticipate those things. You make these mistakes enough, you use the wrong gap enough, and you're like, okay, that's not the type of setup, because it's not just seeing a gap. Like, that's the most basic thing in the world. See, wow, you saw a big candle. It doesn't mean you have to trade every gap you see. Most of them won't work. Like, you need context. And for us, our 15-minute context tells us to do nothing. We need to break that 15-minute barcode. Even the 5-minute, it's still kind of folded in half, even though it looks kind of okay. It looks kind of okay. The 15 is really just sideways for an hour. You know, so maybe if we get above this range, but yeah, this is really the guide. Do we do anything? Look at the 15. 15 is kind of sideways, leave it alone. That's at least how I look at it. Alrighty, we got 3 minutes. Goal for today is just be patient. You know, I feel like a lot of people want to eagerly rush into a long or whatever it might be. Maybe they're looking to catch the rest of the short. I'm looking to do nothing. Again, it's NFP week. Unless there's an abundantly clear setup, I don't really want to be doing too much. It'd be better just to save the risk for a better day. So that's my main focus. Two minutes till the open, and again, this gap is just being colored on both sides. Not great. It's not great action, you know. There's not a strong enough low being put in yet. This isn't like Asia's action, where Asia was pretty structured. You know, let's see, where were we? In this area. Yeah, like all this, it's easy. Minute, basically 1 minute left. So the worst thing you could do at the open is rush or be super eager or need to take a trade. I like trading the open, but it's not every day. It's not every day that you find it entering the first couple minutes. I don't have enough context to tell me that we're going to get long off the open. This does not look strong whatsoever. You know, very likely we just drive lower. Yeah, not really a trade I'd want to take either way. All right, 5 seconds. We'll see what they got. See what's gonna happen. There's your 930 open. Yeah, watching ES on another screen. Let's see what else we got. YM's weak. ES also weak. NQ seems to be the strongest. I mean, YM on the lower time frame is driving stronger, but just from a daily perspective. But they're all pretty much doing the same thing. More or less the same two candles have happened. Now, ES is starting to break a little bit of those highs. Just ever so slightly, though. Again, there's really not much going on here. So people can go ahead and waste all their ammo right here. But if you just simply wait, you can find better trades and you can put more risk behind them. Okay, YM's leading in strength. Yeah, YM's breaking those highs almost. Huh. It's not closing strong yet, but yeah, it's worth noting that one of the pairs is stronger. Yeah, NQ. So YM's leading, ES is behind that, and then NQ is slightly lower than those two. But that doesn't mean I have a trade idea. Like, I really don't see anything right here. Could you short? Maybe. Maybe you shorted the inverse, but your stop's like white right here. Target the low. 1-to-1 or something. It's not my cup of tea. It's YM's stronger. That's for sure. Way stronger. Look at that. Way fucking stronger. I know nothing about Dow though. I know nothing about this. But maybe we'll look at it. Let's use a different account. Leave the fundeds alone. Maybe maybe NQ will catch up, but again, I'm just gonna keep an eye on Dow, just because like 3-minute did invert. I honestly, I have never really looked at a 3-minute chart. I'll be real with you, but what's the tick value on this? I'm gonna just what
Order
does this
filled.
move like? $14 for that stop. Okay. I just need to see what this is, like what it moves like. $14 obviously isn't really anything for an eval. I just want to look at this. So what is that? 30 points or something? Yeah, 28 points. 14. All right, so you got NQ and ES turning lower. YM might reverse to do the same. We'll see. Maybe YM holds relative strength, but we had NQ take the lows.
Order filled.
Okay, cool. So we're down 15 whole dollars on the eval. But again, I was just trying to see what the tick value is like. So $30 is like 15, or 30 points like 15 bucks. Makes sense. But yeah, like I was saying, we have NQ taking the low, ES is not taking the low, and then YM's making a higher low potentially. Right? Yeah, we could maybe try this. I don't know. We'll look at it. It's in this gap. It's not terrible. Let's see, this is the actual view up.
Order
we'll
filled.
This. Try with the actual size. We'll just see if this wants to hold a higher low. Because if NQ could pick up, I'm just doing this one on eval. I don't see anything abundantly clear on NQ just yet. And we'll see if those want to bid. But it's kind of dabbling around with YM. I've traded this never, so I need to see what it moves like. And $100 is a good enough position to see what it's like. Because it just seems abundantly strong. So if something's like really clearly stronger, why not trade it if that's what you want to trade? Yeah, because NQ is completely nosediving. ES is still holding its own though. So that's important to notice. NQ is taking out this swing low from when I think Trump said something yesterday. It's like the PM. So that was like prior day VWAP kind of. So NQ might bounce right around here. NQ might bounce. But again, we're messing around with this YM long. So the structure for this is relative strength. I see this overhead gap, right? That's kind of my reference point. Anytime I see a gap inside a price leg, that's kind of where I'm going to look to target. And it's just some sort of higher low formation inside of a bullish gap. I don't really have a ton of conviction in this play. It doesn't really matter either way. I'm looking. I want to see what this market's like. So NQ's nosediving. ES is still yet to make low of New York. It's close. It's close to the lows, but it hasn't done it yet. So I'd be looking at NQ to potentially invert now that we're taking that low. I would look for an inversion on NQ personally. But YM is just kind of going to move higher. Yeah, so I don't know. Just leave it right there, I guess. SMT, yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, ES is, you have an inverse forming on ES now. And then now NQ, potentially. So I think this trade's fine right here. Should keep going. Yeah, you're starting to form some inverses, so let's see. MNQ.
Order filled.
I got one entry on NQ for the inverse. $100. Keep it light. This is all my funded. Just keep it light. Target will pull from a 5-minute. We need that candle to flip though. YM's just tearing off. YM looks way better. Yeah, YM's booming. YM's booming. Watch. See, YM's just ripping. Just that a little bit. So that should hit target. It's like a 2R on NQ. Yeah, right there. So we now have a breaker, kind of, right here. If you look at this, I wouldn't want to see it come back under here, I don't think. I'll let you know in a second if I'm certain on that. Not at VWAP yet. Not at VWAP. So you want to see it clear these highs. Like you guys said on the full-size contract, that's not... they haven't swept these. So these are equal highs right here. ES is outperforming. I picked the wrong one for sure. For sure. I should have just taken ES for the inversion. But NQ, we'll see if it actually can pick up for once. Again, this goes in alignment with my bias. I was not bearish today. Should we? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. If it stops us break even, whatever. It's kind of stalling. Yeah, I'm okay with that. We just wanted to kind of break these highs really quickly. I think that's a stronger draw on liquidity than it kind of sweeping lower. Look at the 5-minute. If this stops me, whatever. I don't want to be in this trade, really. I want it to immediately displace, so I'm not going to give it a long leash. Realistically, it doesn't need to come back in, but it might. 2 minutes on the candle. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. It needs to run those highs immediately, unless there's going to be an SMT at the highs, you know. ES is so much stronger, it's not even funny. ES gave like a 20-point move, which is massive for that. All right, so now we have free money for this trade. Maybe 500 will be our target. I don't know. Maybe we'll kind of shortchange it. It hasn't broken the high yet, which is kind of alarming. I don't want this to stall out because we do have like SMTs at the highs, you know? So it really shouldn't be stalling so hard right here. It needs to run immediately. That's why I don't want to be sitting in the trade if it pulls back, you know? Next candle in 10 seconds. If it doesn't flip right here and tag the stop, it should just rip on this next candle. Expansion candle. The 5 minutes almost closing, so that's a good sign. We want to close near the highs, obviously. Just need to run. But if it rolls over, I'm in a good spot because I don't want to be in this trade back down to this area. Some momentum entry, and there was no momentum that followed. So
Order filled.
See. Yeah, you got SMTs. Let's go monitor this thing right here. Micro YM. What was it? Oh, did this hit target? Nice. This thing hit target. So micro YM hit target. Good. Cool. So $300 on this thing. See, 2 entries. You guys saw it. 2 entries. I took it. Boom. Good trade. That is a good trade. So you saw how I did that. I showed you guys, obviously, the whole trade. I told you this is kind of where I want to be targeting on stuff like this with, like, if you look at the 15, you know, that imbalance. So I never really want to aim for the swing high when there's imbalances in here. Personally, it's just you have a really easy target with the imbalance. So that's a decent win for the stream. Cool. 1 win on this eval right here. So risked what? I don't know. $100 made 250, 200, 300, something like that. So like a 2R, I think. Very basic logic. Opening drive, first pullback with a fair value gap. And it aligned with VWAP, which is something I've been referencing quite a bit on these days. But again, we made the right call on NQ because NQ is not looking great. Let's see. Micro NQ. Look at this. This is what you call a good decision. So you call it a good decision. It's testing the breaker, right? Like that's okay. The 15 closed. Doesn't look terrible. But Micro ES looks better. Even. Micro ES looks much better. Let's try this.
Order filled.
We'll see if that's a bad decision, but this will be the last trade I take. Either way, I'm going to just target these relatively equal highs right here. We have, I believe this is VWAP. We're approaching VWAP. So we'll swap over to the NQ or Micro ES. Yeah, it's just a higher low. It's breaking the consolidation. It's a little cleaner than it's a little cleaner than NQ for sure. So easy draw on liquidity, I think. Entry could be obviously a little bit better. I mean, in the consolidation, not the gap itself. But as soon as we see it like kind of flip something, abbreviated stop, yeah. Inside candle on the 5 is not the best. Yeah, I might just reject VWAP here actually.
Order
Yeah,
filled.
that's it. I'll take it off early. All right, whatever. I rushed the entry a little bit. I could have waited for a better price. So that's all good. But one pretty much break even trade. We're down like $60 right here with this. So we made a little and gave back a little. It's not the end of the world. We can still monitor the trade though. Boom, boom. See, this is rotating. I didn't realize that when I was flipping to the chart that we actually did test VWAP. It looked a little closer, but that's a problem that Top Step X has. So you have to make sure you're looking at the data correctly. Either way, we're still less than 1R, down less than 1R, so it's not really a big deal. We will monitor this though. We'll monitor it. I don't want to look for another trade idea, but if this thing can confirm a little better, we'll take it because compared to what Micro NQ is doing, I do not want to be involved in this. Like, what is this? This is dog shit. This is textbook dog shit right here. It's like disgusting. Where if you look at MES, a little bit cleaner. So we're retesting this first gap. Should we try it? The 5 doesn't look too great. Let's see what the 15 looks like. 15's at inside bar. So it's really like it's a coin toss, right? When you have those inside bars. I do like the idea. It's not terrible. We do have decent structure. I think I'll maybe wait a little bit. We'll see. Because we have that right there. Wait a little. Time frame, boom, boom. Definitely monitor this for this higher low right here. That 5 minute is really telling me just wait. The 5 minute really says don't do anything yet. So again, just kind of recap: 1 win, 1 loss. Up on the eval, so not a big deal. I tried a new market, which moved really well. It's promising. I might engage YM a little more. It moved fucking like really easy. It was effortless. Let's see if we get this candle closed right here in 10 seconds. This candle does not look strong. Like, I would not want to short if it was the opposite way. So why would I want to get long? You had to kind of look at it that way. Either way, the NQ idea is like now round trip completely. So yeah, with that being said, it's like it's good that we trailed that super aggressive because it just died, you know? I'm gonna keep my eyes on MES today. Not a fan of this candle right here. However, if we can kind of flip this smaller structure that I'm showing on the 30-second, we could get that 15-minute to close with a long bottoming tail, and then that next 15-minute candle could break to the upside. So that would be something I'd be interested in. That would be a potential play. The imbalance itself isn't really too valid here. Kind of getting colored over, but 11 minutes, nice. Yeah, I mean, we could try it. We could try this trade. We could do, yeah, like he was saying, Alondra said, we got news in now 9 minutes. So it's one of those that you could be positioned through. If there's a really strong trade idea, then maybe I'll try it. I do like this little breaker right here. I think if we can close strong above this, then we'll have something we'll try. And hopefully the news lifts us to new highs, right? Flip the daily candle.
Order filled.
I'll just try this. We'll see if we get stopped out. A little preemptive, like a second too early. I probably could have waited a little bit. So we'll see if we get stopped immediately. Which is actually fine if you get stopped immediately, because then you don't have to sit in it and wonder. I want immediate momentum with this for this breaker because I'm trying to get that 15-minute to close a certain way. So you want these things to kind of behave with an order of operations. It's holding real strong, so it's interesting. It's a resistant price level. Just let it, whatever. Let it work. If this hits, we'll be down like 160 or something on the day, and that'll be it. Keep the wrists tight today. Up like 280 on the eval though, so trade off, I guess. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like how it's just stopping right there. You want to see at least displace above. Now the candle flip. It looks like the 1 minute candle's flipping. Yeah, it's going to stop. Boom. Let's see.
Order
All right,
filled.
cool. Yeah, we're done with that. So down 150. It's not bad. If there's anything convincing after news, then sure, we can try. But right now, it's like, that's about it. Tried some things, mixed success, right? A couple ideas. I kind of got in a second too early. I probably should have just set my limit right here, you know? But what can you do? Because the idea is you get the candle to close strong and then the next one flips. But if it needs to wick down or just roll over completely, then so be it. You can't really do much. I'm not going to give that a super wide stop. There's no point in it. See, it's like you want to give it a stop all the way down there and then still get stopped. So with an entry like that, since it's based on momentum, you need momentum. You can't just sit there and let it draw down. You need to have a tight stop on it. Let's see what's YM doing. Yeah, we pretty much nailed the YM trade. Pretty much nailed it. Like, you really can't ask for better. You really cannot ask for better. Yeah, literally almost a top tick exit. So that's a good trade. We'll take that. We take those for sure. But other than that, I'm seeing a bunch of M tops just rounding out. You know, look at MNQ. It's an M. Boom, boom. News in 4 minutes. We'll see what happens. Look, we completely backfilled this wick. So this is now probably due to the news. It's just invalidating what I would consider to have been like a upside bias based on that hammer. The 15, yeah, just completely getting folded. So you never really want to see this. This isn't good price action when it folds. Are you kidding me? Anyone who's like, wow, this is such a good short. It's like, if this was a long, I wouldn't say that's a good long. So I know you're lying. I know you're lying. You're just saying that because you're in a favorable position. Like, action that just folds over is never going to be good. It's never going to be good. Because, yeah, let's just assume that this broad bullish candle gets completely invalidated in that same amount of time. It's just a bad trade idea. So we got news in 4 minutes. If we're selling off into the news, that could be indicative of, well, you know, people front running it, or obviously it could be just could be bait. Because I don't consider this to be good price action whatsoever. There's an element of randomness when it's just a big candle that gets folded over by the next. And anyone who says, "Oh, well, that's real," like, where are you seeing that there's going to be a higher time frame invalidation? Just this level right here we're going to reject? Like, I don't buy it. Tried a couple things. This idea right here would have been money, honestly. This held. I'm pretty sure I would take this trade again, honestly. I like the logic. I like the idea of the inside bar closing higher. Nowhere in my bingo cards would I assume, oh yeah, we're just going to close this after this big up candle. We're just going to close with a broad down candle almost 2 times the size. I would never, ever, ever guess that. That is like, this is just an unlikely scenario. It makes sense for it to kind of chop around, but for it to completely invalidate like that, I don't buy it. We'll watch for the formation of like a bottom wick though. All right. So we'll see what data brings. Yeah, it's ridiculous price action. That's what it is. So to have be small down, it's like, it's not the end of the world. What are you gonna do? Get upset about it? There's not much you could do. You could try this inverse. I mean, I don't trust it. I'd rather just wait for the data. Maybe one last bullet after data, but I mean, I don't really need to do anything right here. There's nothing convincing. Unless that's just a stop run on ES. But like, what structure are we sweeping even? We have SMT at the lows, I guess, right? SMT. Yeah. It's an SMT on ES. That's for sure. Right here you have SMT. For now. You got news in 10 seconds. Let's see what happens, guys. Caution, I would not be in a trade right here. Nice. It's going higher. Cool. So it was bait. Damn, that would have been a nice trade to actually be in, honestly. So we'll watch it. New high a day. Wow, what a candle. What a candle. A great bear trap, though, that's for fucking sure. Because what do we say? We want to see higher prices. Probably wait for this to calm down a little before I ever look at anything because, like, it's pretty volatile. NQ's new high a day. I don't even know where YM is. Probably in fucking outer space. Yeah, YM's launched. What a trade, you know. Thought about it too. That'd have been nice, but oh well. Oh well, I decided to be responsible. I said, nah, we're not going to trade before data. Yeah, it's typical. It's typical stuff. Yeah, let's just continue shorting the lows in perpetuity. Like that's gonna work out great for you. Just keep doing that. So that's what we're seeing right here. Yeah, so we saw a strong rally in the 3. Now the question is, can we form some sort of low right here? This is way too big of a structure just to be taking a trade off of. This is a death sentence. We're at the 9:30 open right here. It's 9:30 open price. Oh, for NQ. NQ's at the 9:30 opening price. There's no real trades here. Anything would be super bold. I don't see a point in just jumping it. Don't jump the gun. And especially if we round trip the whole thing, then I think it's kind of a wash, but we'll see. 1 minute gap. It's like you'd almost want to take a higher lower here. Yeah. I think there'll be something better. I don't. Would have been a good day to trade. That would have been a really good day to trade. But yeah, good luck with that. If you ever feel like you need to take a trade, just kind of chill. Honestly, just take a minute, really think about what are you trying to accomplish. Because if you feel like you need to be in a trade, chances are there's nothing obvious, because if there was an obvious setup, you would just be in it. You know, but if you feel like you have to do something because price is moving and this and that and yada yada yada, you're lying to yourself. I don't see anything that I can potentially take. Maybe, right? Do you want to operate on maybes? You can maybe take that inversion. But again, how do I know this isn't going to wick or like chop around a little bit, then go? I don't want to necessarily have a stop right here at 96 if we're trading 08. I don't really want to do that. You know, I see right now currently ES and NQ are both trading into VWAP. They're both just sweeping these highs. You know, so if we're forcing a trade right here, it's like, are we going to get stopped out? Then it goes and makes a lower low, then goes. But right now we're pretty much at the end point of a move. So if we're going to find a continuation or something, we have to wait. There's no way around it. Unless you want to force a trade with a wide stop, you're not going to be able to get positioned right here. If there was structure, we'd see it. It'd be really obvious to us. Like right here, boom. So you either have a stop at 804 or 92, and it's like you can just wait. You can literally just wait, and it'll go higher, low, and maybe we still have room for this, right? All these at 25. But again, what do we see on the 15? Yeah, that would be your inversion stop right there. Boom, you're done. You're cooked. You just took a stop if you took that trade, if you had to. But if you were able just to acknowledge that, hey, price is moving, but we can be adults and we can wait, then you're still in the game. But this 15 says don't do shit right now, because remember, whenever there's a range like this thing can go up and down and up and down, and then it could still close right here. But it can sweep a lot because there's no definitive trend. It's sideways. But what we can do is simply just wait for a higher low, We get something like this from here. We don't need to be engaged right here. We can simply just wait, look for something like this, then take it. We have room to up here. 25 is pretty much the level for this. Obviously, you could run for, up here, 45, but let's be realistic. This would be like your change in state for keeping track. All right. Same thing on NQ. It's just a big range. 26 points. What the fuck? For no reason. So ES is pretty much dancing above VWAP. NQ just slightly below. Let's see where YM is. Get to my other screen. YM similar spot, so ES is leading the way for sure. We'll look for a continuation on ES. So we'll probably break above this. It's going to be somewhere in this range, so right here to right here. I think these are a different color. These are going to be our upside levels that we're looking for. These orange. So we get a little continuation gap, we'll take it, all right? But folding like that is not a good sign. You don't want to see it just fold. NQ pushing highs. Let's see what's NQ going to do. Is NQ going to give us something? See, real clean on NQ. Back to midnight open is essentially the move, right? That we're going to see. This is, yeah, we're breaking these highs. 9:30 open right here. Let's make this like blue or something. There's no fair value gaps being created, really. It's nothing. 15-second. Yeah, you don't really have shit. This isn't it's not my favorite indication. You typically would want to see some sort of gap form at the highs, right? If the idea is to go higher, to frame a continuation, but I don't see any. You check micro IM again, but I don't see shit. There's no gap there. It's a fucking baby gap on this one. I don't trust it. It's that VWAP though. You have your VWAP right there. Micro ES has like a small one, I think. No, just regular ES, I guess. It's not a good indication. I don't think anything up here is high probability. Just being real with you. I don't think any of this is good. Like, this topping tail right here. You see this kind of rounding out. There's no real displacement in here. Nothing to structure risk on. So I think it might be possible that we just rinse this, kind of wash it out. All three indices are in alignment. They're doing the same shit. All right, we got a new 5-minute candle. $15 almost. But this is more than likely. Let's see. You could print an inside bar. We do have an imbalance down here on the 5. So maybe we reference that. Could be an inside bar though. I don't know. I don't see anything super clear. Higher lows. ES is a little gap, but seem better. Unless you want to just structure this as like an order block, you know, right here. That might be your move, this thing, but see some confirmation. See it validate. Yeah, 5-minute for sure. I see it. So a test of the 5-minute might be decent then. We could fuck around with that. Five-minute on maybe, let's see, which one looks better? MES or MNQ? Let's get rid of these levels, clean it up a little. 5-minute gap here is not terrible. You do have this change in state right here though. So I wonder if we're going to even go below that. I do think it could break higher, but again, I'm just trying to figure out a way to structure a trade if that's what I want to do. Because having a feeling it could go higher doesn't really get you paid. You need more than that. Confidence comes from confluence. You need more than one thing typically to have a great trade. So coming into the 5-minute pretty much right here. New York Open. Yeah, so we're in the 5-minute gap on NQ. So maybe we take an entry here. We'll see.
Order filled.
Try like a tiny stop on this. Just a swing low. So we're basing this on the test of the 5-minute fair value gap on NQ. And we'll target here. Just a tight stop. Yeah, relative equal highs. So we want this candle right here to break, obviously. It should be able to reach relatively equal highs. We're clearing VWAP. We just need to make new high of day. Stop at the swing low. Again, I don't want to be in this trade too long if we fail. So obviously on this 5-minute chart, it looks like we did not sweep, but I'm looking at NQH right here in front of me, and it looks like we did. So try it out, but we'll take a quick invalidation if it doesn't work, and then we'll be done. That'll be it for the day. So you don't want to see it necessarily reject super strong like this, but it is what it is. You can't win them all.
Order filled.
All right, cool. So that's it for me. I'm genuinely going to be done there. I don't think I'm going to try anything else. Tried a couple ideas. I think I just maybe jumped the gun on this one. Maybe needed to test it again, right? Sometimes that's the case, but seemed like it would move higher. We have the 15-minute close right here. Yeah, it might be just a little early. We'll see. So let's watch the 1 minute. 1 minute looks like shit. Okay, so here's a candle, 15, 5 and 15. 5 looks okay. It's holding the 930 open. It's rejecting VWAP. 5-minute close. There's no real good entry signature. It's the only problem. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a range right here. The idea is that we're putting in a higher low, but I do see the signs that we could be rejecting VWAP. That's why it's like if I want to try something, I'm trying it with very, very tight risk parameters because I don't need to give back more just to get information. I can acknowledge that it's not going up. We will look for a sweep though. Let's see if this 5 minute candle puts in another low. Like if it can sweep the previous candle low. Because sometimes that happens on these swing points. You'll see this like sweep right here. And then if it could hold, all right, then you potentially have an entry. The only problem is just this thing lies about VWAP. It says it's at VWAP, but it's like VWAP's above it. This shit's broken on Top Step X. To 1 minute. It's not great. Could be better. Watch for a little bit longer, but we're pretty much done for the day. Couple losses, got a win on the eval, so that's not too bad. That one's almost done, so that'll be good. Get that one set up. Then I have 2 that are pretty much done as well, so have accounts on the back burner just to really just take advantage of when we do get some upside. But right now it's still like, I mean, just look at the daily. Is the daily really clear to you? It's not a super clear picture, so it's like there's no point in overdoing it right now, you know? With this kind of thing right here, when you see it selling off into this gap, we want to see what it does to this wick right here. I think on NQ it swept it. And if we can somehow like close above this gap right here, then it could potentially be a really good entry for that. But that's a good habit to watch. Watch if this thing can kind of like dip into something, right? And then if it could rebid, entering on the flip of that, that is a really, really, really solid strategy. Because you're basically cutting out all of this potential drawdown. You're just waiting for a stronger indication it's going up. Your limit's right there, and then you can target the upside. However, what do we do here? We swept out this high, boom. So it doesn't need to go up. That's an important thing to remember. And for example, if this did trigger, we'd still have that target at 526. Put a stop right there. We'll see. We'll watch it. Needs, if you wanted to do something like that, it needs to be a strong indication because you don't want to get caught in this just kind of rallying and then closing heavy. You want this to kind of show that this candle is going to close higher near the open of it, and then the next candle will flip and go bullish. A lot of good discussion in this one today, though. Regardless of outcome, I don't even know where that trade is. You guys like cutting out all the information that tells me where a trade is. Like, I don't know what time it happened. I don't know what fucking time frame. Like, they have that, charts have axes. People love cutting that out of their screenshot. It's like, how do you want me to answer any of this? I have no idea where this happened. I don't even know the year. Like, might as well cut out the price axis while you're at it too. Like, bro, like, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea of the scale. I have no idea of anything. These could be weekly candles for all I know. All right, brother. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. We'll be on tomorrow. Volume imbalance. Yeah. I mean, I see that. It's the displacement there. Maybe we go for it, right? I mean, I I don't think I like. There's no trade there for me. Like, yeah, maybe you get that. I see it, but we can also just leave it alone. I don't think we need to go back there. If we go there, yeah, like that's a super reasonable target. But you know, for me, this isn't a trade. Like, I'm not going to enter from here to here. Have my stop like right here. It's like 1-to-1. Let's go ahead and clear up some levels. So we all know there's an imbalance there. This is obviously not as valid. We understand this is there, that's there. So now we have this, that, volume imbalance, 50%. That's kind of where we bounce too. Important to note, 50% of the wick of the daily candle, right? So we'll watch for a little bit longer, but this has been going, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise. Like the reaction was pretty wild. Like, I liked that potential entry on ES, but I'm never gonna be like, yeah, let's just trade the data. And there you go. There's your volume imbalance scan ran. So I'd consider this a waste of a day, honestly. Like, what's the point? What's the point? Look at the 15-minute. Wow, real great work, guys. But either way, I think this was a solid stream. We went over some stuff, saw a really good trade in NQ, took some just minor losses on the day on just the funded, but there's only so much you can do. You can't do everything right. So it's not the end of the world. As far as being bothered, like I think I'm like a 0.5 out of 10. I've been way more bothered by way less than this. But pretty decent day. I'll throw this up on YouTube in a bit. Is there any questions anyone has? Or anyone has? Maybe there'll be like one last surprise entry. We'll see. Like, I'm going to spend maybe 10 minutes looking at this. If I see anything, maybe we'll try it. But yeah, that's not me saying we have to do shit. So you get an inversion right here. And then you get a breaker right here. Let's wait for this candle to close. The 5 minutes starting to look a little, you know what I mean? We have no SMTs. They're all higher highs. We've swept the data low. There's your inversion. There's your breaker. Super counter trend. One minute. 12, 11, 10. So breaker. 63 to, damn, big ranges. NQ hourly looks like shit. So 1 minute here look like 1 minute, seem better. It's like I always ask myself, would I short this? Fuck no. Absolutely not. I would not short that. So I have to be really careful as to why would I long that. Yeah, big range. That's a major life hack. Regularly, it depends. Like a breaker can be extremely reliable because like you got to think. Anything in a downtrend, the opposite candle, that's your order block. So if we completely disrespect that, we really shouldn't trade back down. Like we really should not do that. So you could. This is just a small structure. I mean, we're on the 32nd, but that's a good question. You can absolutely have your stop there. Because you do the opposite. If you have this as an order block as a short, you'd have your stop right here. Like you very well could. So it's just using the market structure itself as risk management. That's all this shit is. It's nothing fancy. People are like, oh, the fair value. It's like, you see that there's a dominant move and you're looking for a pullback into that kind of higher low formation. And there's obviously fair value gaps that are better than others. Same thing with breakers. Like this one right here. This one, since it's such a deep move and such a deep rally, the physics of it makes sense that it would bounce right here and reject. So you wouldn't want to enter. But there are ones where it's like, big block and then it kind of right here you could enter and then it breaks above. Like I've done that a ton of times. But in this scenario, it's more like you got a lot of things working against us. Oh yeah, of course, man. Of course. Yeah, I'm starting to put together some like material for like I don't know, some sort of course thing. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm just doing it for one of my clients. But the idea is price structure, like sure, ICT says this, that, whatever. But realistically, all this stuff is just a simplified way to look at market structure. Like cool names or not, in a trend, you have candles that that favor the trend, and then you have ones that oppose the trend. The opposing candles are those are the swing points. Like that's where it forms a swing high. So if you have your risk above that and you're buying the break, you're buying these little breakout patterns. That's all you're doing. So it's like that little H, right? This is your order block. The H pattern, once it breaks, then you're in. That's your order block. It's not because there's like some maniacal institutions doing some crazy shit right here. I don't know about any of all that. Do you? It's just logic. Is up goes up, goes down. When it's in a dominant trend, that's when you really get those moments where it's like, oh, that makes sense to kind of engage in the peak. Yeah, as it stands right now, structure does not look great. I mean, it's kind of folded. I don't really know who like which side of the market did the best. It's kind of a crapshoot, right? 100%, 100%. And then it's a language, sure, 100%. I agree, and it's just branding. Bro wants to have some cool names. Like, hey, whatever. Like, I'm not mad at it. Do your thing, but yeah, people they cry like mind you, these are grown men crying about what someone else does publicly too on camera. They're like, oh no, this person says some stuff. Now I can't stop talking about him. It's like, I will never sit down and be like, you know what? You know what I need to do today? I need to make a video about someone else. Like, bro, if I'm gonna make a video about someone, I'm gonna make a video about me. Like, so weird. People are like, oh, all like, bro has like the best marketing team. He gets people to talk about him because all he's got to say is some crazy shit. Like, oh, yada yada yada, and people are like, "Can you believe he said that?" I'm like, kinda. I could kind of believe that he would say that. What are you doing right now? You're talking about it. I haven't seen an ICT ad, but there's a million people that make videos for free. 100%, 100%. And it's like I don't know. People act like it's like sticks and stones apparently, but the words do hurt them, right? Like he really said this, but I know someone who works at a bank. It's like you guys are missing the plot. There's much more important things to be worried about than what some old dude's saying. Like you got to think, if you understand that hatred is like a big point of going viral, why wouldn't you get people to hate you? It's free marketing. And if you're like, I don't know, as I've gotten older, I care way less what people say. I mean, someone's got to pay the bills, I guess. But you'll never see me being like, oh no, I don't even think about other people like that. I couldn't tell you something about someone. I'll like see a reel and I'm like, oh cool, that's it. I'm not like I hate this guy. It doesn't help me. Yeah, I think this is about it. At least for the AM session, this is about it. Yeah, literally. You got to let everyone have their own path. Yeah, I think that's about it. So I think what we'll do is kind of wrap up there. I'm going to be looking at a couple things throughout the day. So I'll probably set an alert right here, maybe low of day, and maybe up here. I'm actually do that right now on my other computer. Alert at like 500. Alert at 387. Alert at 300. Because I gotta go write some like policy terms and services and stuff, all that shit, a lot of boring stuff. And like 225. So pretty much if we can resolve this range in any way, shape, or form, then we're good. But today was a win for me. Today was a really good day. Even though I had like some paper cuts on my funded accounts, I had taken payouts. So a lot of these things were like they're kind of like sucked to the bone. Like they're very, like there wasn't a lot of fat on them. Oh, what's good, homie? So yeah, when I started having a little bit of fucking, last week just getting just berated, it really drained them down. So I have like I don't have a ton of drawdown on those. So when I get the new ones, it'll be easier just to kind of size up in those. How you doing, money man? Yeah, we have so many mics in here. But yeah, anyone do anything good today? I mean, we just kind of kicked it around. YM was a great, great, great trade. I really liked YM today. YM was such a fucking solid play. Micro YM. Like, are you fucking kidding me? We had this entry right here, this higher low, 930, and then we targeted this internal range right here with that fair value gap. Such a tremendous play. Boom. Gotta love it when it works that easy. Favorite trade by far today. Favorite trade right here. You buy and it just goes up. Such a good trade. But after that, it just goes to shit. 15 just folded. But yeah, any other questions? Anything anyone else got? We're gonna hop off in a second. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta rotate the account so they. Oh yeah, let's see it. Bro's making his debut. Top Step. Top Step's cool. I mean, I like the platform. It's easy to use. I wish it was better on the phone, honestly. Yep. All right, guys, gonna hop off, wrap this up. But yeah, great stream today. Solid ideas, a lot of good stuff. We'll hop on tomorrow. Later, homie. Take care. But yeah, all right, later, guys.